Now I'm going to talk to you about the branches of celiac trunk. So as I mentioned earlier, abdominal aorta is going to send three major branches to digestive system. The first one is celiac trunk. So this is celiac trunk, this is abdominal aorta. Okay, celiac trunk is going to divide into three branches. The one which is the longest and tortuous and going to the left side is called splenic artery. It's called what? Splenic artery. And from the name is going to the spleen and is going to divide into maybe 5 terminal branches to the spleen. 5 terminal branches to the spleen. So this is a splenic artery and this is a spleen. Okay, it's going to run behind the stomach at the upper border of pancreas. At the upper border of pancreas. So this is a pancreas, okay, and just to let you know that this is the upper border of pancreas. It's going to run at the upper border of pancreas. Okay, so this is a pancreas. The second one is called left gastric artery, and the left gastric artery is ascending up until it reaches to the lower part of esophagus. So here is the esophagus. This is stomach. Okay. And this is duodenum. So this artery is called the left gastric artery. It's going to ascend until it reaches to the lower part of the esophagus, then descend along the lesser curvature of the stomach. So this is left gastric artery. Let us make left gastric artery brownish. So when we give branches are going to be the same color. Okay, so this is left gastric artery, this is esophagus, stomach, and this one left gastric artery. Okay, the third branch, let us give this branch different color. Okay, is hepatic artery. Is going to the right side, and from the name is going to liver. So this is hepatic artery. And is going to divide into 2 branches to the liver, right and the left branches. So this is hepatic artery. Okay, so those are the 3 major branches coming from celiac trunk. So this is celiac trunk, give splenic, left gastric, and hepatic. How are those 3 branches going to provide blood supply to foregut? And remember, foregut is esophagus, stomach, upper half of duodenum, part of pancreas, in addition to spleen and the liver. In addition to spleen and what? And the liver. So here is the liver. Okay. So all what we're gonna do now is just to give branches from each of them. I will start with the splenic. The splenic artery run behind the stomach, and the part of the stomach bed, okay. And the pancreas also run behind the stomach. And the pancreas also part of the stomach. Okay, until it reach here, if you remember, this is going to be the head of pancreas. This is going to be what? Head of pancreas. This is head of pancreas. Okay, so this is a pancreas, tail, body, behind stomach, and then you have tail of pancreas and the uncinate process, head of pancreas and the uncinate process. So what are branches coming from splenic? Here is the one. Those are branches going to the body of pancreas. We call them pancreatic. So splenic, branches of splenic. Here is a splenic artery. What are branches? One, pancreatic. Okay. What second branches? Short gastric arteries. You see, those are going to the fundus of the stomach. Short gastric arteries. Few branches are going short gastric. So second, short gastric arteries, and they are going through gastrosplenic ligament. There is a ligament here called the gastrosplenic ligament. There is ligament called what? Gastrosplenic ligament. What other branches? There is another branch going to the greater curvature of the stomach. This branch is called left gastroepiploic. Left gastro-omental or epiploic. Left gastro-omental or epiploic artery. So left gastro-epiploic. Okay. Fourth, splenic, about terminal splenic branches. Terminal splenic branches. Those are branches of splenic artery. So splenic artery gives short gastric, gives splenic, left gastroepiploic, and pancreatic. Okay. So those are the four groups of branches. Short gastric travel through gastrosplenic ligament. Left gastroepiploic travel through greater omentum. And the pancreatic going to the body of pancreas. Splenic to the spleen. We're done with this part. Okay. Let us go to the left gastric artery. Left gastric artery is easy and simple. Is going to supply esophageal branches to the abdominal part of esophagus. Esophageal branches. So here is left gastric artery. What are branches? Left gastric is going to give esophageal branches to the abdominal part of esophagus. Abdominal part of esophagus. Then give gastric branches to body of the stomach, the right part of the stomach. And here it is. Here is left gastric started to give these branches to the stomach. Okay. Let us go to the third one, which is hepatic. Here is hepatic. We're going to talk about hepatic artery. What are branches from hepatic? Hepatic will send this branch, it's called right gastric, and anastomose with the left one. So this is right gastric artery. Along the lesser curvature, okay, in the lesser omentum, remember which peritoneal fold here? The peritoneal fold here is what? In this area, extend to the liver, lesser omentum, correct? So this is lesser omentum. Okay, so basically this is right gastric artery and smooth with left gastric and send the branches to the lower part of the stomach, here. Then the second branch, which is very important branch, is called gastroduodenal artery. Gastroduodenal. Descend behind the pylorus, or first part of duodenum, like this. Then divide into two branches. This branch is the right gastroepiploic. And this branch is called superior pancreatico-duodenal. So divide into two branches. This one is what? Right gastroepiploic. And smoothing with the right one, the right coming from splenic, the left coming from gastroduodenal. So this artery is called gastroduodenal. Okay. Then this one, right gastroepiploic, and this one is called what? Superior pancreatico-duodenal. From the name, supplying head of pancreas, this is the head of pancreas, remember, and upper part of duodenum, Then, at the upper part of hepatic artery is going to send cystic artery. So, cystic, from the name, is going to supply what? Gallbladder. Okay, gallbladder. So those are main branches from hepatic artery. Then it ends up as two branches, right and left branches. Okay, sometimes there is another branch here called supraduodenal. Sometimes there is another branch called supraduodenal to the duodenum and pyloric part. So what are branches again? In summary, what are branches of hepatic artery? Let us shift it like that and we point. First one, as I mentioned, you have right gastric in the lesser omentum and anastomose with the left one. Second one, which is important one, gastroduodenal, which divide into two branches. A, right gastroepiploic, anastomosing with the left in the greater omentum. B, superior pancreatico-duodenal artery. Supplying head of pancreas, upper part of the head of pancreas, and the upper half of duodenum. Okay. Then number 3, supraduodenal, sometime there, sometime not, supplying the upper part of the duodenum or first part of duodenum. And number 4, cystic to the gallbladder. Number 5, two terminal branches, right and the left hepatic. Okay, sometimes we call this one common hepatic, and the distal to the gastroduodenal from here we call it hepatic proper. And this one common hepatic because it didn't divide yet into branches, and this is hepatic proper because it's going to the liver only. Okay, one thing here before I leave this part, you need to remember that there is anastomosis between different branches. Branch of splenic with branch from hepatic, branch from hepatic with branch from left gastric, and they form like a circle around the stomach. Okay, and as you see, short gastric, left gastric, right gastric, left gastroepiploic, right gastroepiploic, and again This is nice and smooth around the stomach. Second, this lesser omentum, the peritoneal fold which connect stomach with liver, contains several structures. At the attached border here, okay, you have right and left gastric. At the free margin here, which we call it hepatoduodenal ligament, this is the free margin. You see, this is hepatogastric ligament, but this part is hepatoduodenal ligament. This is all together we call it lesser omentum. You will notice that we have hepatic artery to the right side here, common bile duct coming here is going to descend in this area, and behind them you will find portal vein. Behind them you have portal vein. Okay, so what is the name of these three structures? Hepatic artery, common bile duct, and portal vein. We call them portal triad. If you zoom in this area as the free margin of the lesser omentum, you zoom here in this area, you will find three structures. We call them portal triad. If I ask you what are those structures, portal vein, this is portal vein, then hepatic artery, HA, then common bile duct. Okay, so this is basically the most important structures here in this area. If you remember, again, if I ask you what are contents of lesser omentum, you will see that you have right and left gastric here in the attached border. In the free border you have portal triad. Okay, before I leave this part also, do you see that there is missing part of duodenum and the missing part of pancreas to be supplied by other arteries, because the duodenum here only upper half. So remember that we will talk about superior mesenteric artery later on. This is superior mesenteric artery, which is going to supply this area by inferior pancreaticoduodenal. So this one is going to be inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery, and smoothing with the superior one and supplying lower part of the head, uncinate process, and lower half of duodenum. I hope that this is clear. And finally, if there is any perforation in the stomach due to gastric ulcer, the artery at risk is going to be splenic. If there is any perforation of the duodenum due to duodenal ulcer, the artery at risk is going to be gastroduodenal. This is gastroduodenal artery, descend behind duodenum, and this is a splenic artery, pass through behind the stomach. If the stomach perforated here and there is leak of gastric acids, the artery at risk is going to be what? Splenic. But in duodenum, the artery at risk is going to be gastroduodenal. I hope that this is clear. Thank you very much.